there
Look
going,
at this.
oh, I'm
It's
too
just,
scared to
it's
say
crazy.
what I really think. You just go along with that.
It's
You say
crazy.
nothing because it's not uncomfortable enough for you. The only people I have any empathy for in the Charlie Kirk situation are his victims. That is it. Now,
Oh my God.
reflecting on the
The only people that have any is the victims, okay? Okay, I don't care about the actual victim that got murdered. I care about that victim, okay? What the fuck?
chosen to share on the World Wide Web. Well, instead of reflecting on that, she decided to double down on the ugliness, on the bile.
Listen to this shit.
Lunacy.
Listen.
All of the drama, I want to reiterate that it is not wrong or unethical or unkind to laugh at the misfortunes of terrible people that Charlie Kirk incited.
I just want to read. It's not wrong or unethical, to eat peanut butter and jelly with no bread. You know what I'm saying? It's not. There's nothing wrong with that. There's nothing unethical about it. There's nothing wrong with driving a car with no steering wheel, because I identify as a car with no steering wheel because I'm freaking out my mind. Come on, y'all are mentally ill people that are killing the best of the best that we have. Okay, there ain't many come along like Charlie. There ain't many come along like a lot of our geniuses. Elon Musk, I know y'all hate him. I don't care. Okay, he's a genius. I mean, it is what it is. And what it is, it's hate. Y'all are hateful because y'all are not as smart as these people. Y'all ain't as successful as these people. Y'all don't like Trump because he is so smart, and y'all can't get one over on him because he makes y'all feel stupid. I mean, come on, get over it. I don't care. I don't care if my president, if I met him, he made me feel stupid. You know what I mean? I'd be like, that's good, because that means that he's going to make the president of Ukraine, Russia, all these places, you know what I'm saying, feel the same way. You know what I'm saying? You don't want one that's going to make you feel all gentle and soft and butterflies inside, okay? Because I'm telling you right now, it's going to get us took over. It makes no sense at all. Not to want a president like we got, this got spine and backbone and believes in God, which is very important in this country, especially the way it's going down now. And y'all God haters can get up on out. What this is strictly for people that have common sense, and for people that want to learn common sense or had common sense and was brainwashed. Man, y'all really were brainwashed. Okay, this isn't just about Charlie Kirk. Okay, Charlie Kirk though brought to light everything bad that happened in the world. Okay, and for people to say that his death ain't gonna matter, it ain't gonna matter. And just I've gotten on my knees and prayed for his family. I mean, that it mattered in my life. He reflected my life in the lowly state of West Virginia. I live in West Virginia, and this reached out to me. You know what I mean? It hit my heart. Okay, there are good people in this country, and that matters, and it's going to matter. You know what I'm saying? Eventually, it's going to matter in this world. Okay? I mean, it's sad that this right here isn't really getting to the left. I mean, I see some of them, and I commend y'all, because I know it's all your fan base is left, and you're still speaking out on what's right, okay? Because what's right is right, and what's wrong is wrong. And it's just wrong to kill someone for what they believe in. It makes no sense. He believes in our amendments, okay? There's people saying, oh, he believed in the Second Amendment. Like where it got him. It can get you killed for even though you don't believe in it, whatever, okay? It's a real thing, okay? It's in the amendment. It's a real thing, believe it or not. I don't care if you believe it or not. It's in the amendments. Okay, it's there. Something can happen to you, you know what I'm saying? Even if you don't believe in it, you know what I'm saying? It doesn't matter if you believe in it or for it, okay? If you just, and then them getting shot, what is that? Also, that's karma. It's necessarily the same thing to you. Well, that's karma for you being against it. You know what I'm saying? If something was to happen to somebody that didn't believe it. It's ridiculous, okay? It's so ridiculous. And the only thing gun rights do is prevent people that are law-abiding citizens from being able to protect themselves. Because people that are criminals, you think they care about what the law is in any state they're in? They're trying to find a local guy that sells guns on the street. That's what they're looking for, okay? I mean, you want to get rid of guns, go after the people that make them. Because, I mean, as long as they're made, they're going to be in U.S., okay? And the people that's not going to have them with these strict laws are the ones that's going to need them. Like my mother is turning 60 and needs something to protect herself, you know what I mean? It's just... It's backward. It's so backwards of a system, and you can tell that these laws are being created to affect not the people that are pushing them. You know what I mean? It does not affect them. Okay, it does not affect the higher ups. And y'all talk about the 1%. What about the one of the 1%? The one no one ever sees, ever. You know what I mean? You don't even know these people exist on the world. Okay, we're going too deep. Okay, this really is about Charlie. Okay, because he hit my heart, and I feel he's a great man. You know, and just he's something that all real men aspire to be. If you're a real man, you aspire to be something like that. You either do aspire it, or you live that life already. You know what I mean? You know where his morals are coming from. As soon as you hear him speak, okay, you know exactly what he's talking about when he says from conception. When he says you shouldn't do nothing until you are married to that woman. When he says all these things, it is all because it was written way before us. You know what I mean? Way before us, and by creation. You know, by the people, by what? Excuse my, for lack of better words, I use it. But the Creator, by the Creator. I mean, we're not listening to words by the Creator, and it's really doing us in. You see what's going on in the world. Everything is going bad. I mean, and I know you'll say, "Oh, my mama said it was end times in her day." That's because end times don't happen like that. You know what I mean? It don't go out like a flicker. It don't like that. It fades out. You know what I'm saying? This world's gonna fade out, and it's gonna be very, very, very bad. It's just gonna get worse. We're going to be so blinded to it that, you know what I mean, we're going to think the mark of the beast is something fantastic, the way they're going to sell it to us. You know what I mean? But don't go for it, okay? Because it doesn't matter. You may struggle for a little bit until you pass, but the thing is, you're going to be calling to the Holy Land. That's the one good thing that matters in all this. You will be called to the Holy Land because you stood strong. You stood as strong as possible, and went without, and told your loved ones to stand by you, or they told you, or y'all did as a whole, and y'all made it. You know what I mean? That's the way it's going to be. But to take the easy way out and just take any kind of mark that they give you, that's something. But we're getting too into biblical stuff. It's just, let's watch some more of this, okay? Because this is ridiculous. These people are insane. I mean, these leftists are insane.
And then that came back to haunt him. That was his decision. So it's got nothing to do with the people who are laughing and joking about him becoming a human water fountain. Just foul,
A human water
vicious,
fountain.
deranged
Yeah.
hate. What else can you say about
Terrible
that?
person.
So a brief antidote to that ugliness. Let's hear from Jeffree Star, the original, the OG influencer. He had a message for those celebrating Charlie Kirk's murder.
Because I'm standing up for someone that passed away, I'm now being called names in the chat. This is what's wrong with a lot of people. You will never get far in life. You are sick in the head.
Even the left is getting help.
Because if you believe in vain thems,
Because he still got common sense.
if you're so stupid enough to go against science,
Yeah.
please unfollow me.
Alright, I respect you, dude. Jeffree Star, I respect you.
Facts. You can pretend in your head you're a cat. You can pretend in your head that you're this and you're that. Good for you. You're still only A or B.
That's my dude. He cool. Hey, he's cool, man.
And huge props to
That's a
Jeffree
good.
Star for that.
Yeah, Star, man. That's what's up.
He has over 13 million followers on
He deserves it,
Instagram
man.
alone.
He deserves it because he has common sense, man. I mean, I don't care about somebody's sexual orientation, but God, have common sense.
Every time he speaks up, but that takes courage. And it's all about courage and conviction. If you want to know why Charlie's work was so important in giving confidence to students to speak freely, to conservatives to boldly state their position in the face of enormous intimidation on university campuses, let's have a look at this clip. This intimidation is not just from radicalised students, it's also from academia. Listen to what happened to this young man.
What happened? I was walking to Valhalla to get my food exchanged, and PhD student Patrick Mahoney, as well as his accomplice Gerald Hobb, did not like the hat I was wearing. And when my head was down, I made zero eye contact with him. He saw my hat, he ripped the hat off my head, crumbled it. I had to go confront him and said, "What are you doing?" And what happened next? He charged at me. Patrick grabbed my chest, slammed it on the road pavement. Then he grabbed my head
professor.
and slammed it on the road pavement as well. And this was a professor, right? Yeah.
What?
A conservative professor would have hunted down a Kamala Harris wearing student. It would have
Yeah.
been a hate crime and the #1 news story in the country. Now,
Yeah, it would have
really
been.
get attention for a young man who was punched by a professor here at Washington State University. They are the ones dividing the country. We're the ones trying to.
It's school system indoctrinating our kids, you know. I advise you, if you have money to raise your own kids, to teach your own kids, private schooling, self-taught, teach them yourself, it's worth it. It's a lot worth it. Look, I gotta rewind this. You're a clown of all clowns, girl. Listen to this this dork. This nothingness of a so-called U.S. American citizen.
I have breaking news. We think that Charie Kirk just got shot in the neck. Hey, ooh, ah, ooh.
Okay, I got breaking news. I think you're a clown ass lefty. Don't know shit. Wouldn't know a brick if it hits you in your forehead. That's all I got to say about that, really. It speaks for itself. You think you're cool. You just think you're hot. Shit, don't you? Doing a little stupid point there. Talking about nonsense. Have respect, man. God, where's the humanity in the world? Come on, man. Come on. Slat. Where's the humanity at in the world, buddy? Huh? Slat. Where's the humanity at? Where's the humanity? I know. You don't know what's going on with these lefties either, man. I know you're moderate, right? I understand. Let's get back to this nonsensical whatever she thinks she is. Oh God, that's just a Karen. Is all she is. She'll get mad at anything. She'll get mad no matter who the president was. What's going? I don't know what happened.
There are some people on this app that are sitting there saying, "Oh, you shouldn't wish death upon any person, no
You
matter
shouldn't.
what side they're on." That. Charie Kirk.
That's hateful rhetoric.
He was
A Nazi. Nazis talk like you.
What kind of Nazi is the best Nazi? A dead one.
A dead one, yeah. You're talking about killing people for stuff that they don't even believe in. They're not Nazis. And listen to you, that's an abomination to the Lord Jesus Christ, and He's going to have His vengeance on you in tenfold. Okay, it's biblical. It's written in the Bible. You are not.
It's about time Karma took out that trash.
Another Karen. You can just see it. It's like a DNA thing. Oh, you know what for him. And like I said, it could happen anytime. And just because you believe in it, you think that's what gets you shot.
It will activate no one. It will make.
Oh, listen to this woman. This is what it's all about right here, folks.
Charie Kirk was a big advocate for the Second Amendment.
Yeah, I don't know who I am. I don't know what's going on. Look, listen.
Is that he is not martyr material.
Oh yeah?
Will mean
Nothing.
It will
Nothing.
No it will mean nothing. Charlie's death will mean
Nothing. Nothing, she says. Nothing. Well, let's just look back, okay? I think that's the best way to solve this issue right here.
Have no one? Really? It will activate no one.
South Korea? Israel in London? So beautiful. Amen. Oh, God. Dear Lord Jesus. Look, Texas. It's everywhere. Long Island, New York. Hallelujah. Look, Alabama. Hallelujah. Oregon. Madrid, Germany. Look, Idaho. This is, come on now. If you got any humanity in you, look at this. Look at this. You think that clown saying that he don't matter? You think when she passes, they're going to do that for her? She be like, she has somebody that has enough money to bury her in a hole. I've been there. I struggle to bury my own father as a working man. So.
Sporting leagues as well, formerly painfully woke sporting leagues like the NFL and Major League Baseball. This is the Dallas Cowboys.
I love this. I love lefties losing it, by the way. It's the best show on here. You want to watch real news? I mean, you can tell they're kind of biased because, I mean, who ain't biased against a lefty? Because, I mean, it ain't really biased so much as, I mean, lefties don't make no sense no more. I mean, the left Democrats ain't Democrats no more. There's some weird organization. I don't know what they are. See? And that's a left area. Even the Cowboys, come on now, are giving shouts to them. I salute the Cowboys for that. Shoot, I don't care if they wear pink cowboy hats or not. No, that's just a sports shot, y'all. I'm sorry, Cowboys. God bless y'all. Look at that. Look at that. Look, nothing but Democrat. New Jersey. Yeah, it's Democrat. See, all these states are Democrat. This is crazy. Hallelujah, man. Rest in peace, man. He's one of the greats. You always be, man. Yeah. USA. USA. A message from his widow, Erica. Let's see what she has to say.
Joining me now is Newsweek's Senior Editor-at-Large and Article 3 Project Senior Counsel Josh Hammer. Josh, that's something special that shows the impact Charlie Kirk had. They thought they'd kill his influence by taking his life, but they failed.
Yeah, let me just first say, this has been really hard. This has been a really, really hard week or so. Charlie and I were pretty close. I've known him for any number of years, but we really became close over the past year and a half, 2 years. We were in virtually daily contact, actually. I spoke with him less than 24 hours before he was assassinated, actually. I was helping to prep him for this very campus tour, especially when it came to the inevitable bombardment of anti-Israel questions there. And this is an irreplaceable void. This is a gargantuan void. That the American rights. I mean,
like and subscribe, man. It really helps the channel. I'm just starting out, man. I've been through a lot lately. I ain't had time to get on here. It's just been rough. Everybody deals with hard times, though. So y'all can imagine, you know, just lost some very important family recently. And it's hard to process. Took a break from everything. I'm back. Like, subscribe. It really helped. I'm still going to show my Frenchies, and you know, Pressure will still be on here. Pressure's got a girlfriend now. I'll be able to show y'all Pressure. I mean, Pearl, his new girlfriend here soon. Still got Bella, you know, the excited Yorkie. But I just been a little down dumps, man. But this is important to comment on. So like, subscribe if you like the material. I mean, if you don't, I still appreciate you for stopping by. Extraordinary. Yeah. They are. They even used to. Yeah, in the end zones. Yeah. Antifa stuff.
As a tribute to 2020, the Black Lives Matter Antifa stuff. But nonetheless, Charlie was such a larger-than-life figure, even at the tender age of 31 years old, that they felt compelled to honor him. So, you know, I am personally not fully past that.
I hate when someone's called racist and then the farthest thing from him, because that's reverse racism, because it's usually coming from somebody that is racist, and I just hate that. I don't care to speak out for what's right, you know. I've dealt with reverse racism my whole life. Never been racist ever, you know. Just dealt with them my whole life, whether directly or indirectly. Because I'm not good at standing by whenever that's going on. And when someone's been called racist, I know my whole life I know they're not racist. I'm like, dude, you just got something against race. Because I mean, that it has to boil down to that. I've even seen it from somebody I grew up with that I had to cut off. I'm like, what are you doing, man? This dude did nothing to you. You're saying something across his skin. No, I want nothing to do to you. Because then they were all humans and we're all genetically the same. Okay? Some of us are better at certain things than others. You know what I mean? That's a given fact. We'll never be as good at sports. You know what I mean? It's most African American blacks, whatever, whatever, however you want to say it. There's multiple ways, multiple actually categories of black people, just like Caucasians. But there's no form of Caucasian that's usually on the level, you know what I mean, as African Americans and blacks, because I'm just saying our genes, like we're good, like I don't know, chess and weird stuff, but we and Hispanics dominate like a sandbag and like all type of stuff. Like everybody's got. It seems like we are meant that way to have our own uniqueness, you know what I mean, amongst our own races. But other than that, we are genetically the same. There's nothing at all different about this. I mean, we're all made in God's image, and that is, for lack of a better word, just straight up. I mean, there's no other way to put that. Okay, people can say, "Oh man, yeah, we decoded that right. We translated that wrong." Okay, whatever. Get your scholars, whatever. I mean, and most of them don't have scholars. They just say stuff like conspiracies they hear on TV, but that's not it. Okay, it is what it is, and most people they don't want to believe that. It's because they know they live against what the law is, the Bible, and they're scared of the wrath of God, and they have right to be, you know. You might wonder what my eyelids say. It says day of wrath. Okay, that's my eyes closed. Because we are all sinners. Okay, no matter what. Even if I die, I say, man, I'm still a sinner. I mean, I'm born again. I'm born again Christian. And I love God. I love Jesus. I have total faith in His path for me. I know He's going to lead me somewhere great. I just know it. You know, anybody who really is in touch with the Lord knows what I feel, you know. And it don't matter if I'm under a bridge somewhere. I still love the Lord, you know what I mean? When I got the closest to Him is when I started losing the most. I mean, I didn't lose everything. And they were like, oh my God, I need you, God. I just could tell I was going to start heading down a bad path because my mentality wasn't right. And I see how beautiful it is when God in people's lives. So I reached out, and it wasn't nothing like I thought. I thought I'd reach out, okay, I feel better about myself. I reached out, and the feeling came over me that would never come over anybody unless they reach out to the Lord. It's better than any drug, anything, okay? God is real, and He is here for us, and He sent His only Son to die for our sins. And He rose 3 days later, and y'all need to know this. And this is the most important thing in history. And they try to make it seem like it's something, you know, wishy-washy on the side, this and that. You should read this. Books that ain't gonna get you nowhere in life, in school, half of them in school at least. I mean, gosh, the Bible, you should read it. Take 10, 15 minutes a day, please, after school. And I encourage you. And if after a week you don't start reading more than 10 to 15 minutes on your own, then you know, then don't read it, okay? But because I'm so confident that after a few times of reading, you will be so inspired. But don't read it like any other book you read, like knowing it's not real, okay? Okay, because this book, you know, is, okay? And you should read it that way. Read it like it's history, okay? Or if you want to let people want to be grabbed real quick, go straight to Revelations, okay, buddy? And if that don't grab you, then I don't know what will, okay? Praise God, hallelujah. That is there for a reason. It's there to show us what the fate of humanity is if we don't go down the right way, okay? And as bad as all that is, if you're one of God's chosen, and you're not chosen, but saved, if we are born again and we are pure of heart, then we won't have to live through none of the trials and tribulations, okay? We will go to heaven. We don't do it. None of that. That's for the strays, the ones that were led away, the ones that still can find peace and find their way to God. But it's gonna be a lot harder for these people, okay? Okay, do you want it then? Okay, because everybody's like, oh, I want to see it. Once you see it, it's too late, okay? You better have faith that the Lord is here, okay? Because there's so many signs, and us as people that want physical something to look at are the ones that's going to be sitting there fighting with three-headed beasts and thrown in the pit whenever Jesus comes to destroy the Antichrist. Pretty much overall, you know what I mean? And then there's
the
nothing.
saying,
The
this
world
is like
collapses, you know.
Nazi
Yeah.
is a great
I mean-
word,
I mean-
he's like a Nick Fuentes type here.
Whenever
No, this guy
Jesus
is
walks into,
literally
Jesus,
transgender
oh,
furry
gosh,
export.
Lord.
That is who this
I'm
person
thinking
is
of
there.
something totally different.
And
Whenever the Antichrist walks right into the into the new Temple of Solomon, he will declare that he is the Antichrist. We won't know it. We'll all love this man. And he would, on TV, national TV, he's going to declare, I'm the Antichrist. Then TV will shut off, power grid will go down. And then that's the last human event that's ever going to take place on this earth.
About the mental disease that is transgenderism.
If that don't scare you, you don't have a soul.
Now, I want to ask you about
So I know it scares you.
Charlie's
Because as a
widow,
human, we all
Erica.
have souls.
She
That is the
spoke
energy,
out
life force running
in the
through
last
us.
48
If you don't believe
hours,
God,
showed enormous
believe
courage.
science. Science will
And,
lead you to
she
God,
was very
okay?
clear
All
that
things,
she was
we're led to
going
Christ to all
to
things, okay?
use the
And
grief
science
she
is
feels,
a
the
big
anger
diversion.
she
Science
feels,
leads us
to
to
make
it,
sure
okay?
Charlie
Because science
Wilson
points
is
out all the facts
fulfilled.
and the truth, okay?
You
There's
know,
electricity.
Erica, tell me a little
What's
bit
one of the
about
first
her
rules
and,
of
how you and others around her will help
not
her
air,
achieve
not spatial,
Well, that speech was extraordinary, wasn't it?
space
That
math.
was nothing
It's
was
called something else. I'm
extraordinary.
not smart enough to tell you what it is.
Rhetoric
But one of the
and
laws, like
just
I think
outright
the
valor and bravery. That was an
second law
extraordinary speech that Erica
is
Kirk delivered.
is that energy,
From the turning
you know what I
point
mean,
of
it cannot be
USA,
cannot disappear. All it can do is be displaced. Like energy has to go somewhere. In other words, in a sense. So and everybody's gonna say, oh no, that's not true. Batteries are full of energy. When I put it in a DVD player or a CD player, it runs out. Yeah, because you are using the energy, okay? The life force in us is ever ending. We don't use it. It don't die when we die out, okay? And that's a proven fact. Our energy goes somewhere else. It goes somewhere else. It has to, because energy can only be displaced. So what do you take of that, scientists? Maybe you still don't believe in God. Maybe you just think it just floats around somewhere. Okay, cool. But at some point, you really need to consider, because I mean, I just learning something new every day, like scientists do. Why isn't it harder to believe that that's possible? I don't know. I just hope all y'all find the Lord and see that what happened to Charlie is terrible. And he's up there with the Lord right now, looking down, happy at the world, praising, so glad that what he did impact the world the way he did. Hallelujah. I want to pray for anybody who's willing, even though no one's in the chat. I know somebody will see this eventually. And if it helps one person, then it helps me. Okay, Lord Jesus, I want to pray for anybody and everybody out there that needs it, whether in the chat or out of this chat, Lord. I want to pray that they see the good in the world and they want to be a part of the good in the world, not the bad. I hope they see the bad in the world and can tell what the bad is and not want to join it and see how radicalized things are becoming and start knowing what words really mean, like radical and Nazi, and everything they say. They try to say that Charlie was like look at what these words really mean. Like, what's a fascist? Half of them can't tell you what a fascist means. Like Lord, please educate these men and fill them with your love and your soul and talk to them and give them hope, because a lot of them I feel like they're hopeless, and I've been there where I feel like I had no hope, and it's a scary place, dark place to be. Just save the young people, save everybody, please. Dear Lord, speak to them, your children, as flawed as they are, as undeserving as they are, as undeserving as I am. Please come out of work, and please help, as you always have. Lord, I wouldn't be here today if it wasn't for you. In dear Jesus' name I pray, amen.
And today, RFK spoke about the impact Charlie had on a family member.
I felt that. I don't know what's in the chat, but somebody else did eventually, hopefully. If I save one person, I feel like I saved a million. Peace, always. That's what we should spread, is no hate, just peace. Remember, first the Lord, then your family and your children, you know what I mean? Then your country. That's the order. That's how it should be. Lord, wife, family, children. I mean.
Oh, that says it all.
Oh God. it should pretty much it should never be money for one. That's one of the biggest things to it. But it's God. God's always first. Okay, then your wife, then your family, and then your country. It's just that plain and simple. Well, people say I don't have a wife, I don't have kids. Okay, what? It's God and your country. Okay, and you should strive to try to I want to encourage you to reproduce, because that's what we're here for, is to fulfill God's thing, which is reproduce and spread the word and spread the message to our youth, and they'll spread the word on and spread the gospel, and without spreading the gospel, what happened? It would disappear, and then nothing but evil has a choice to rule, and then the times it's inevitable. Hell's end times not inevitable when we stop spreading the good word. You know what I mean? All what matters, you know. It just leaves room for, you see how they're trying to slide in right now and spread nonsensical information that actually is getting through to these people that are uneducated, or going to schools where they think they're getting educated, so it's taking on faith of their professor to educate them, when really they're brainwashing them and telling them, oh, this guy's a fascist, and rewrite the history books or the dictionaries of what fascist means. Because no one can name one fascist thing Charles ever did. Okay, one Nazi thing Charles ever did. Okay, he is 100%. He's like the Switzerland of humans, with a backbone. You know what I mean? Because Switzerland's neutral, but they're soft. Okay, but he's like, well, he's not neutral. He's heavy on his ways. I mean neutral in another sense, but the thing is, he has a backbone, and he stands for what he believes in. Okay, I love y'all. I hope y'all have a good day. I want to be back in. Hopefully I have more viewers. I'm still excited. I'm glad to be here because God woke me up, and that's a big thing. That's a very big thing. Okay, because one of these days he won't. You know, and I think I did. And I want to dedicate this chat to my father. Rest in peace. He died in April 10th, you know, this year. And, it's very bad, very hard, you know. This headband, I don't know what it is, where it came from. Guys, that's his ring. I love my dad a lot. It's just the ring I put on this charm. It's his charm that I put on this necklace, and this is also his ring that I put on my other necklace, my tri-tone gold necklace with the white gold clasp. I'm a Georgia guy, so I need to break that, because we shouldn't covet, we shouldn't care about material things. I'm working on that. We all have flaws. Like I say, we're all sinners. Even though I'm a man of God, I have flaws. But I try. I'm not a hypocrite. I don't say one thing and then go turn around and do it, especially intentionally. Just go with the intent of doing it. And at the same time, I'm a flawed person, but I feel like I got majority of my stuff together. You know, I take care of my mother. I moved her up here, and I work hard, and I make sure the bills are paid. My mom's taking care of them. And to me, that's all that matters. And keeping God first and foremost to my family. Y'all remember that out there, all right? Ain't nothing wrong. Ain't nothing not cool about God. God's as cool as it gets. You want to be cool? The coolest guys in the world love God and represent God. Hallelujah. Amen. One love, y'all.
Nice, like progressive, middle-class white people.
I'm sorry, I'm just getting used to this chat.
To respond to
So I'm
things
gonna
like
stop. Just exit.
with these kind of very
Go just exit.
somber-faced, violence is never the answer.
Oh, he just exits.
Like, what the f*** are you talking about? What? But just remember, he died.
Oh
doing
shit, what
he
happened?
loved,
Oh
defending God.
shoot.
He took a bullet
Forget my language.
and according to Charlie
We all have
Kirk,
problems. Lighting off, lighting on. That's cool. But no. Oh, they gave me green screen. Lighting on. I'm green screen. Go ahead and make weird videos of me doing whatever. We'll do this. See what you can do with this. See what you can do with this, y'all.
This is how he went out.
What?
And if that wasn't bad enough, the New Daily published a piece by the Australian Institute's Amy Ramikas, who wrote, sadly, Charlie Kirk was killed in the America he wanted, but will I mourn him? No. I mourn for the people suffering in the world he helped create and held gloating dominion over. Kirk represented everything we should be pushing back against.
Make a weird video of that. I just found out how green screen on here. I told y'all, man, God, I ain't man electronics. I don't know how to use this stuff. I just do, whatever. Anyone wants to help, anyone wants to chat, I'm free to chat. I'm just a calm, chill, humble guy, and retouch. God, I hope I don't do nothing to make me look feminine. What's retouch mean? Retouch on, retouch off. That's all you say. Yeah, no mute.
influencer Hannah Ferguson.
So you reverse.
In it, she
How
writes
do I
that
do a
Michael
black
and Charlie
screen?
Kirk
I mean,
will no longer
how do I
spread
do
extremist messaging.
green screen?
She answered that with
See, what's
yes.
this?
And she also asked, is
Yeah, it
violence
kinda makes no
sometimes
sense.
necessary? And again, she said yes.
Oh.
Now that
No.
post was liked by none
Okay.
other than Till MP Zoe Stegel.
Oh, that's cool.
But she has since unliked
Uh,
and condemned Kirk's
It's showing my
assassination
pictures.
response
Okay, this is how
to a
people
wave
put
of
pictures in the
criticism
back.
media.
Yeah, yeah.
Although she still maintains that liking
Yeah, I'm
does
gonna get
not
that's a
equal
toy I'm gonna get for my doggy.
endorsement. So
You
if
trying to
like
see my
a post
pictures
on
of my
Instagram,
animals?
it doesn't mean you
Any
actually
moves?
like it. Try to
Okay,
figure
this
that
right
out.
here
And
is
finally, we
Belladonna.
had
Okay,
this from
so that's
Abby
I got that from my
Chatfield,
mom.
of course,
It's a
she
Yorkie,
wrote,
and
"He
she
was a
just got
dangerous
pregnant by one of my
far-right
Frenchies.
extremist
You'll
who
see
said
here in
that
a
he
minute.
doesn't believe in empathy, has
I'll
said
show you.
that the Civil Rights Act
I'll
was
show
a
you.
huge mistake. He has said that gay people should be stoned
Y'all
to
see
death.
that, right?
He has said that public executions should occur and be televised. He has even said that if his
Check
daughter
them
were
out.
10 years old and were
Check
pregnant
out
through rape,
OG.
he would force her to carry the child to term. The man was evil. Now, what's evil is
That's my
your
buddy.
deranged
That's my buddy.
response, the ugly hyperbole and
It's my
lies
girl.
that I just read out. Joining me now is IPA Deputy Executive Director Daniel Wild. Dan,
Here's
how
y'all
have
some
you
of the
seen
dogs.
the
I'm gonna
past
show y'all
4 days?
Precious old
Some
lady.
of the commentary
We
has
get
been
to see Precious old
beyond
lady.
unhinged.
Yeah, well, I completely agree with you, Rita. I think the mask has really slipped on the modern left and what it is that they truly believe. You know, when we heard them say that words are violence.
Yeah, he's that pics for days. He's so stupid. Me. Ugh. Man, ugly feller. I shouldn't say that. I think awful lot for who I am. You wanna see a cool picture, fellas? Yay! There goes Pressure. That's his first time driving. I might just leave it up there. Yeah, it's, life's life, you know, life happens. This is funny, I'm sorry. I think this is so cool. I think it's good. But yeah, people would do it. I don't care what people think. If you're a male and you think you're a woman, something's wrong with you. It's a male illness. Okay. Oh well. It's caused too much drama in the world. It's hurt too many lives. It's affected too many people, good people. Y'all want to see all my puppies? I'm gonna show you when they're in the window. How about that? Yeah. Huh. How about that? You like that?
Looks like old Charlie spoke his fate into existence. Hate begets hate, zero sympathy. DC Comics has also fired author Richard Falker Martin and terminated the latest comic series she wrote called Red Wood after she posted thoughts and threads in Nazi B. Hope the bullet's okay after touching Charlie Kirk. Dad, my opinion is...
I'm sorry, I'm trying to find a good picture for y'all. Y'all probably think I'm not here no more. To me, that's not a good one. That's a good one. I gotta keep it fresh. Dressing the latest attire. That's how I do. I do it like that. Yeah. Yeah. Let me see if I can flip it. If it'll show.
Through our education system and through the rabbit holes they go down in the media and the sort of echo chambers that they occupy, now that they really do believe these things because they've never been challenged. And all you have to do is look at Charlie Kirk's videos when he's at a university. It really, all it takes is 2 or 3 minutes questioning of one of these sort of
I hate these MSNBC, CNN. They're all paid by the Dems.
So that's why they actively avoid debate.
They were down in Charlie not 24 hours before he was dead, trying to say, we don't know if the guy who shot him was a fan in support of guns. Was going to shoot him in support? Come on. It's just they want to make guns look so bad. Guns are the only thing keep other countries from invading us, okay? Whenever they attack on Pearl Harbor, yeah, y'all heard about that? I bet y'all didn't read the history books about this, but you can look it up, is that one of the biggest reasons they didn't want to come over here and invade physically is they said everybody had a gun. They said one thing about Americans, everyone had a gun. They worded it a different way. They used an analogy. Pretty much like every such and such has a such and such, but it's an analogy for every person has a gun. That's what they said. So they came back scared to death of America.
Responsible for my husband's assassination have no idea what they have done. They killed Charlie because he preached a message of patriotism, faith, and of God's merciful love.
If y'all want me to fix that screen, just tell me.
You should all know this. If you thought that my husband's mission was powerful before, you have no idea.
Like and subscribe.
You have no idea what
Chat.
this
And I'll respond.
this entire country.
Hallelujah,
Yes,
amen.
You have no idea. You have no idea the fire that you have ignited within this wife. The cries of this widow will echo around the world like a battle cry.
I feel so bad for her. And that's what every man wants too. You know, and he had it, the American dream. You know what I mean? He had a conservative woman that had a head on her shoulders, that didn't even want to have sex until she was married, that only had sex with the intent that God had their best intentions at heart, and if they had a kid, it was God's will. Like, what kind of women do you meet there like that? And then he had the same exact train of thought. Like, they were made for each other. Not only, that piece of crap scum that, I'm sorry, Lord, that took him away from everybody is, he don't know what all he affected. He affected a lot. She was crying today. She cried for 2 or 3 days. I mean, rightfully so. I cried. I'm a grown man. I'm 35 years old. I cried over it. It's heartbreaking. Okay? The scumbags out there. I don't even care about him. There's a loser right here. Look, oh no, he took him off.
Himself potentially being the shooter. Now we do know that Tyler Robinson will be facing his first court appearance on Tuesday, and Utah Governor Spencer Cox says that he's not cooperating with law enforcement at the moment, but family and friends are helping with the investigation.
Yes, and his lover appears to be helping investigators as well, and we're getting more details about his private life. According to police, Robinson was living with a transgender lover who was in the process of transitioning from a man to a woman. Utah Governor Spencer Cox also told the Wall Street Journal that investigators are of the view that the alleged killer is deeply indoctrinated with leftist ideology. Gab, we have heard a lot of misinformation. We have heard a lot of lies from people who should know better, including many in the media, about the alleged killer being supposedly MAGA or from some right-wing movement.
Yeah, so much disinformation online. It's horrible to see. But I think this truth, I should say, from Utah Governor Spencer Cox, that this alleged killer believes to appear to be deeply indoctrinated with leftist ideology, that should come as a surprise to no one. We have seen parts of the far left justify and celebrate murder, and it is absolutely sick. Now, it appears as though Tyler Robinson was radicalised after university. We know that ammunition was engraved with a reference to fascism. And again, hearing that piece of news, you just think of every Democrat,
Sorry, I ain't
every
at my house,
mainstream media
y'all.
outlet that has labelled Donald Trump a fascist, and you know, we are
She
seeing
got a
so
room
many
for me here.
parts of the far left celebrate murder. It makes me absolutely sick. But as your reference to his personal life, we know that he appears to now be dating or be in a romantic relationship with someone who was transitioning genders, appears to be a big supporter
supporter of Joe Biden, and also Robinson himself had a fixation on Furry's Rita.
Yes, and again, that's some interesting reading there, but we won't get into that. I want to speak a little bit more about Charlie. He was all about
Sure.
dialogue, about the importance of maintaining civil debate with your ideological opponents. He would talk to anybody. It was always about the issue, not attacking the person. And he was happy to be the butt of jokes himself. Look at his reaction to a South Park episode that featured someone very much like himself.
So let me ask you this. What is your definition of a woman?
Yeah, putting down the mic in between the question, that is like pure art, South Park.
What is that? What is a woman? It's a very simple question.
Well, a woman is a lady fan who gives you kisses.
You see, you can't answer the question, but something is male or it is female. Both sides in Scripture agree to that, and that's just the truth. Next.
Well, sis.
I think the whole thing is just awesome and hilarious.
Yeah.
Unlike the angry left, he wasn't afraid to laugh at himself, even if the characterization was pretty harsh.
Did you call the girls' soccer team a Marxist indoctrination factory?
That is correct.
We actually beat the boys 4-0, you know.
You can whine about American oppression all you want, but you're using an iPhone made by the free market to complain about a system that gave it. Girls have it way easy in America, and that's just the truth.
Girl reading off the phone, by the way, with like the angry, like lit face, like.
The liberals ain't got no sense no more.
It's just perfect.
Like and subscribe. Like and subscribe.
I can't think of anyone else like him who was just such a happy warrior who would just maintain his calm in the face of all sorts of ugliness.
All the time, and we saw that. I love the clip you just played, Rita. I mean, it just really speaks to his character and his brilliant personality. He was happy to laugh at himself, and he was such a great example to young people, especially to young men. I mean, he was so clear in his values. He really spoke up for being principled, for fighting for what you believe in with words, not with violence.
Come on, got a new channel. I gotta get pushed in the algorithm. Y'all push me in the algorithm. I got a new channel.
He's going to be so missed.
I got a new channel. I need y'all to push me in the algorithm, y'all. I got a new channel.
Thank you so much
Push
for your
me in the
time.
algorithm. Alright, we're gonna watch TV Slams. Yeah, this is very messed up. I've already seen this, okay? So this is speaks for itself. Heartless pigs. Terrible.
In the GMC Sierra,
I don't see how you could be that type of person. A person
20% below MSRP on the
of that
Sierra
nature. That's
1500 model.
disgusting. It's a disgusting person.
Self-serve ads platform. It's easier than ever with Ads Manager. Sign up today.
So I let the ads, y'all. I'm coming.
Power. With Gabriella Power.
Awesome.
Hello and welcome to Power Hour. I'm Gabriella Power. Thank you for joining us. Well, he's the ultimate deal maker, and thanks to President Trump and his tariffs, Apple is making its largest ever investment in America.
Today, Apple is announcing that it will invest $600 billion, that's with a B, in the United States over the next 4 years. That's $100 billion more than...
Can y'all hear it? Somebody message me if you can't hear it.
And this is the largest investment Apple has ever made in America and anywhere else. And it's just an honor to have you. As you know, Apple's been an investor in other countries a little bit. I won't say which ones, but a couple. And they're coming home.
They're coming home because of a president that is putting America first. Also, coming up on the show, Americans are celebrating the reports that Howard Stern's show on Sirius XM is getting axed.
We're going to stop putting up with the idiots in this country and just say, it's mandatory to get vaccinated. F them, f their freedom. I want my freedom to live.
Good riddance. Trump is back, woke is dead, and nature is healing. Later in the show, we'll check in on the Democrats and the leftist media who are desperately trying to tell Americans that they no longer live in a democratic
That's
society.
an intelligent woman right there. A very intelligent woman.
Consolidating dictatorship
Her
in our
intimidates
country.
most men. Women like her
And it
intimidate a
sounds
lot of men.
melodramatic to say it,
Because men,
No.
I mean, are
But just
they used to be
go
national
with that for a
followers, but leaders, but now they're all followers. Stuff
Well,
they put in
Hunter
the food
Biden
made
is
us all
back,
soft.
putting himself in the spotlight
It's
after
like
going on an
estrogen.
unhinged rant just a couple of weeks ago where he threw all the Democrats under the bus. He's back on Channel 5 with Andrew Callahan's podcast where he spoke about Jeffrey Epstein, Donald Trump, and he talked about what a cruel, cruel 4 years it was when his father was president.
Although it has been kind of a cruel 4 years in many ways, I'm like eternally grateful for right where I am right now. As much as these people have kind of been the ultimate expression of evil, at least in my lifetime,
This guy's a clown.
Kind of fills me with an enormous
Bozo
sense of
clown,
purpose.
man.
Joining us now is Senior Editor at Large at Newsweek, Josh Hammer. Josh, it's great to see you. So, the man with the laptop from hell who got a pardon from the big guy is playing the victim card. But I want to get your thoughts. Why does Hunter Biden keep popping up for interviews? You know, is this his way of fighting Gavin Newsom for the spotlight? Is he going to run?
Look, I think that Hunter Biden is someone, Gabrielle, who
It's
literally
important
does not
too,
know
because like
anything other than the
all this stuff
limelight.
decides
this is
who
someone
the next
whose father, Joe Biden,
Democrat candidate's
was in
gonna
politics
be,
for
and that's
a half
important
century.
because that's the
literally
lunatic
from
who
the
may
early
run the country.
1970s until
It
last
seems the
year.
population of
I guess
stupidity
until earlier
has
this year,
risen
January
tremendously.
2025.
But
This is someone who literally just
I don't know,
simply
hopefully,
doesn't know any other
you know,
way other
intelligence
than to try
prevails.
to get in
You
front of
know,
the cameras there, try
ignorance
to
don't.
insert himself into the public narrative. He's clearly a bit of an egomaniac. I mean, I think there's a lot of data points over
I'm
the years that
hopeful.
would give that
Yeah,
away.
I'm
Everything that we
hopeful.
know about his
It does.
various addictions and the laptop
I'm
there
not,
and,
I'm not
all of
glass
his,
half full,
all of his
glass half
comments
empty,
in the
either
media
one
over
of
the
them.
years. He
Those
just has an
like
insatiable
choices, those
desire to
vices,
stay
those
relevant. I guess
vices
the
that are
big question
keeping
I
us
think a lot of folks are
from the
starting to think
root
is,
of a
does this
glass
guy
half
actually
full,
want to
half
run for
glass.
office? I mean, it sounds
That's
so,
us hoping the
so
universe
crazy to
works
say.
out without us doing
It's a
anything.
profoundly
Okay,
scary
we have to
thought.
go out here and
I mean,
change
I
things and
have
do
to conclude
things.
that the
So that's why I'm
answer is
hopeful.
no.
I'm
I don't think
hopeful that
Democrats
we,
are
as
quite
people,
that
are going
suicidal.
to
They've
fix
not learned
things.
many lessons from
Charlie was such an
2024, but
intelligent
surely
mind.
trotting out,
I
you know,
encourage y'all to go
this
read
drug-addled,
and watch everything he
maniac
is.
to run for president is not exactly the
And
best
that
calling
alone will
card there.
increase your
But
IQ.
I think it's even simpler than
That's
that,
crazy
Gabrielle.
right now.
He just doesn't
Listening to
know
a
how to
man
resist
that
the
never went to
limelight. So
college
when
will
someone
increase
asks him
your
to come on the
IQ.
show, he's going to say yes.
Yeah, I think that's
Battling
an
a bunch of
excellent
people who went to
point.
college
We're
who
only 6
have
months into Trump
what
2.0,
tends to be,
but
what seems to be a
speculation has
low
already begun
IQ.
about who
I mean,
will
some of them
be
don't
the
even
heirs
know
to
it's something
MAGA
as simple as what they
movement. So
are.
who
I
will be
mean,
the
or what a
Republican
woman
presidential
is,
candidate in
or how to defend their
2028?
own
And Donald
beliefs
Trump was
and
asked about this, and he
ways
seemed
on
to
life.
agree that J.D. Vance is the
It's
favorite.
just so sad. I mean, come on. We need to wake up, everybody. If we all come together, wake up. This country would be doing a lot better, a lot
He's the
better.
vice president. I think Marco
Oh, let's
is
watch
also
this. I'm sorry, y'all.
somebody that maybe would get together with JD in some form. I also think we have incredible
Kurt
people,
White,
some of the
Kurt
people on
TV.
the stage right here.
Subscribe,
So it's
like,
too early, obviously, to talk
if you
about
like
it, but
it.
certainly
If you
he's
don't,
doing a great job,
glad
and
you're
he
here
would
anyway.
be probably favored at this point.
It's interesting. That's a pretty clear response from the president. He didn't really dodge the question.
Well, you know, Donald Trump is not necessarily one, Gabrielle, to dodge questions. I mean, this is a guy I mean, he's made an entire career basically of calling it like he sees it, going back to the old New York City tabloid days of the 1970s, 1980s. Look, I mean, this was half the purpose of Donald Trump selecting J.D. Vance. I mean, this was half the purpose of selecting someone who was basically, well, half his age, actually. I mean, J.D. Vance just turned 41 years old. So Donald Trump made a decision when in selecting such a young vice president of the millennial generation. He was already back then, last summer, around the time of the RNC in Milwaukee, he made a very deliberate, conscientious decision to put a serious thumb on the scale in terms of who the presumptive successor to the MAGA throne would be. Now, having said that, you know, he could have just answered the question and said, J.D. Vance, next question. He didn't say that, obviously. He said, Mark Rubio might be involved, plenty of people in this room. It's going to be a competitive primary. You know, this is not, J.D. Vance, I think, according to all the betting markets, is the odds favorite right now. That seems pretty clear to me. But it's going to be a competitive primary. And it's also a very, very long ways away at this particular juncture there. And, you know, JD's going to have to pick up some issues, I think, to really kind of double down and hone in on those issues. For the first few months of this presidency, Gabrielle, I think that he was kind of clouded out a little bit by Elon Musk. Elon Musk was not technically vice president. He was getting a lot of headlines, Doge and all that there. And in some respects, JD was not necessarily front of the newspapers other than that excellent speech he gave in Munich, Germany back in February. So, you know, now that Elon is out of the picture and we're in the August recess, In the second half of this year, going into 2026, I'm going to be looking very carefully to see what specific issues JD takes out there and what kind of impact he can make on those issues.
Yeah.
Okay, well, let's turn to anti-Israel activist and former Columbia University graduate Mahmoud Khalil. As we know, he was involved in all those anti-Israel demonstrations.
That's what
Now, in a
happens when they
recent
quit,
interview with the New
including
York
God
Times, he
in church,
defended the
I mean, in
October 7
schools,
terror attack
and
by
they start
Hamas.
promoting, you know,
He appeared on
having
the
sex
Ezra
with your own
Klein
race
Show
and this and that.
podcast,
It's so it's my
and he
body.
said,
If I
although
like
he
a certain
thinks
thing, I
that
should
the
be able
Hamas
to.
attack
If I like a
that
certain
killed more than
thing, I should be able
1,200
to be
people
with
and
it, right?
captured
Well, let me
250,
poke a hole in their
as we
whole
know, 50
tranny,
hostages are still being held
queer
in
ideology,
Gaza
all that
in
stuff.
terror
That it's
tunnels.
cool
This
to have
was
sex
just
with what you
a
want to have
way
sex
for
with.
Gaza
Okay,
to be
so
heard.
let's say that Chuck likes to have sex with minors, with 5-year-olds. So that's the thing now. Are we gonna add a new letter to your LGBTQZXYZ freaking insanity and add an R to it for rape of a minor? Like, because people like to do it. There's a lot of people out there who like to do it. I mean, God, that's what Chris Hansen has a job. Okay, that's what I do to JD Vance. He's on his channel talking the way he's talking because there's so many pedophiles, child molesters out there. And what do you want them to be part of your community? Oh, why? Because it doesn't fit in with your demographic. No, now you're gonna twist around and say, "Oh, he's taking up rapists." No, I hate him. The scum of the earth. So I wish I could deal with them myself, handle to me every single time when we deal with them. Okay, but I also think they got the same mental disability y'all got. They're wired wrong. I mean, not even. It's sick. Okay. And how come majority of people that shoot up schools don't say that, oh, they went through thousands of shooters and picked out certain ones? Man, it's a pattern. It's an order. That's every single one of them. Or directly tranny, or dating tranny, or wood tranny, or light trannies, or confused because they are one, or mad because they are one, and go kill a bunch of random people, okay? So don't ever, no. Y'all make no sense to people that have half a brain. I hope y'all know that. Y'all make no sense. I hope y'all don't like me. I hope y'all don't subscribe. Anybody with half a brain, God-fearing people, like, subscribe, please. God bless y'all. I appreciate y'all for tuning in. Even though I have zero views, but I think people will start viewing once they start hearing my messages and knowing that I make sense. And Charlie should inspire everybody to speak out. I mean, because if not, I mean, the left is just going to win. I mean, it is what it is. We need to start speaking out. I mean, that way we can air out our own too. Because I mean, there's people claiming to be right, but they really got leftist ideologies. I mean, those people are not on the right. Those people are confused leftists. I mean, and we need to call them out. All right, let's watch this.
He's really channeling this.
I have to run downstairs. I apologize, but this is good. This is good stuff.
Kind of aggregating deaths and calling
like,
it kind
subscribe,
of just it's disgusting.
I'm still gonna show my pets to y'all too. This is still Precious Channel.
Ezra Klein for giving this guy a platform in the first place.
Absolutely. No, I've been to Kappa Azar as well, and the site of the Nova Music Festival, and that
Give your life to God, man.
with me there.
It's coming soon.
The energy on the ground there was absolutely terrifying, and yeah, I agree. Shame on Ezra Klein. Now, the New York Times is also reporting that elite colleges, Columbia and Brown, they must disclose their admissions and race data following their settlement with President Trump. So this is essentially because the Trump administration has been pushing colleges to use, wait for it, merit-based processes. You know, what a concept that is, rather than focusing on DEI. Do you welcome this?
Oh, 1,000%. Look, I mean, all of this should have happened 2 years ago. It was actually the summer of 2023 that the U.S. Supreme Court ruled in the Students for Fair Admission versus Harvard College case that so-called affirmative action, aka anti-white racism when it comes to university admissions. The court ruled over 2 years ago that this is illegal, that it violates the 14th Amendment of the U.S. Constitution. What Donald Trump did back in January was he signed an executive order which basically said that according to that Supreme Court decision, we are going to interpret all DEI measures on university campuses, in federal government, and elsewhere as also being unconstitutional and a violation of the Civil Rights Act of 1964 as well. So all of this is pursuant to that, but it should have happened a very, very long time ago. The craziest thing to me, Gabrielle, is, you know, the lawyers, and these are very, very sophisticated lawyers who are representing these universities there. I mean, major white shoe law firms there. These universities are dragging out this process
for months and months. In the case of Columbia, ultimately settling for $200 million. Harvard's rumored to potentially settle for $500 million. And literally for what? I mean, think about like what they're actually arguing. They're actually taking an affirmative stance that they have the right, perhaps even the duty or the obligation to discriminate on the basis of race. That's actually what they are doing. A lot of the media here in the United States frame this as the Trump administration cracking down on anti-Semitism. That's definitely part of it, but it's actually only part of it. Maybe only a small part of it. Because the broader part of it is they are literally just saying, as you correctly framed it at the outset, they're just saying you have to abide by Title VI of the Civil Rights Act. You have to abide by the 14th Amendment. You can't discriminate on the basis of race, sex, national origin, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera there. The fact that the universities are fighting this tooth and nail to their seeming death, that's the craziest part of it ultimately.
Absolutely. House Republicans have subpoenaed nearly a dozen former federal officials and politicians, including Bill and Hillary Clinton, amid an expanding investigation into pedophile Jeffrey Epstein. As we know, Bill Clinton, he reportedly flew on Epstein's jet, the Lolita Express, up to 26 times. Josh, what do you make of this? Are you confident or not really that we'll really get more information about Epstein and those around him from this investigation?
Well, I personally can't wait to see Clinton go, that is Bill Clinton, Slick Willie himself. I can't wait to see Slick Willie go before the House Oversight Committee, Congressman James Comer of Kentucky. I mean, that's going to be must-see TV. I mean, make me a fat bag of popcorn, I'll put my feet on the table, and I'll watch that all day long. Gabriella, when Pam Bondi and Kash Patel at the DOJ and the FBI released, to mixed reaction at best, their announcement that there was no list, that Epstein did indeed kill himself and so forth there, it struck me right away that one of the most obvious things that Trump's defenders should have done, even at that time, was say, wait, you're gonna say that Donald Trump is covering up because he might be in the Epstein files? Have you talked about Bill Clinton, this guy who was literally on the plane 26 times? Yeah, I mean, the Wall Street Journal currently being sued by Donald Trump there. I mean, they had this article there talking about this, this 50th birthday card Trump there. Maybe he wrote it, maybe he didn't. I don't know. We'll see what the lawsuit happens there. But, on the one hand, you have Donald Trump allegedly doing his 50th birthday card once with a little, lascivious drawing. On the other hand, we literally know for a fact, based on the manifest, that Clinton was on this plane dozens of times there. So it's really just absurd. Now, where is this ultimately going to go? I don't know. Apparently, there was actually just a major meeting in Washington just over the past 12 to 16 hours or so between J.D. Vance and Kash Patel and Pam Bondi trying to talk about what the administration's response should be to the Epstein files. Gabrielle, my personal take is essentially as follows. I am not a huge fan of the way the administration has handled this. I also think that it is very, very, very far from the median Trump voters' primary concern there. The Trump administration is currently winning on virtually all fronts. They are firing on all cylinders right now. And I think that the sooner they can find some way to try to satisfy all sides and move on, the better.
Yeah, absolutely. Now, finally, it's been revealed and reported that two of the largest banks kicked Donald Trump and his money out following pressure from the Biden administration's banking regulators after the January 6th riots. So the New York Post reports that JP Morgan and Bank of America debanked President Trump. Trump says that he thinks banks discriminate against many conservatives, and the White House is preparing an executive order that will instruct regulators to review banks for politicized or unlawful debanking practices. What are your thoughts on this?
So debanking has been one of the under-the-radar biggest issues facing America for at least 6, 7, 8 years, give or take. This has happened to a lot. I literally personally know people, many people actually, who have lost their bank accounts, their Venmo, PayPal, or they're just checking their credit card accounts due to their political beliefs. This has been happening actually for a very, very long time. It's really not that dissimilar to our issues here when it comes to big tech, when it comes to being deplatformed or censored or shadow banned there. It's a very similar dynamic happening when it comes to financial institutions. By the way, Gabriella, there's no logical reason why it necessarily has to stop just with banks. I mean, what about your local dentist, your local doctor? Are they going to stop serving you because you happen to be a Trump supporter there? So for all these reasons, I have actually been of the opinion, and I think a lot of conservatives will disagree with what I'm going to say, but I have actually been of the opinion that when it comes to the Civil Rights Act of 1964, which we were just talking about in the context of higher education, which essentially has protected classes of nationality, of race, sex, gender, et cetera there, I actually think that rather than try to pull off the impossible of repealing these statutes, namely America's civil rights law. I think it would be a more prudent gesture to actually codify political belief as a protected class status. That would essentially mean that it would be illegal under America's civil rights laws to discriminate against a conservative when it comes to banking, legal services, dental services, accounting, any of the above there, simply because he or she is a conservative. Now, I think a lot of folks would say, what are you talking about? This is all big government, just get rid of it all. Fine, I don't necessarily disagree with that. I'm just trying to live in the reality as I see it. I would love to see more Republicans talk about this, though, because to date, I'm frankly not entirely sure I've heard a single person say this out loud, actually.
Senior Editor at Large at Newsweek, Josh Hammer, thank you so much for your time. Great to talk to you.
Thank you, Gabrielle.
It's time for Media Meltdowns, and has anyone checked in on MSNBC host Rachel Maddow, the left-wing host who's been complaining about Donald Trump for a decade now? Well, in her latest rant about the democratically elected president, she discovers that it's August 2025 and every day the sun rises and the sun sets.
We have crossed a line. We are in a place we did not want to be, but we are there. The thing we were all warning about for the last few years is not coming, it is here. We are in it. This is what it likes, it turns out. This is what it's like, right? It's August, it's a Monday, every day the sun rises and the sun sets, and there are, sports and movies, and there are new hit songs, there are scandals here and there are crimes. There's everybody's personal quotient of family drama and health worries and money worries, and falling in and out of love and in and out of faith. Life has not stopped, and none of our personal lives have stopped.
Well spotted, Rachel Maddow, inspiring stuff. You can really see why she's on an annual salary of $25 million a year. But as you can see, this was just the warm-up before she insists that we're living under a dictatorship and we should be melodramatic about it.
Also, at the same time, life in the United States is profoundly changing, is profoundly different than it was even 6 months ago. Because we do now live in a country that has an authoritarian leader in charge. We have a consolidating dictatorship in our country. And it sounds melodramatic to say it, I know. But just go with that for a minute, right? Think in melodramatic terms, think in cinematic terms.
Rachel Maddow, we're up to almost 200 days of Trump 2.0 and democracy has not ended. Joining us now is CJ Pearson, RNC Youth Advisory Council co-chair. CJ, it is great to see you again. Rachel Maddow is struggling big time. She seems to think America is living under a dictatorship. Can you help her out?
Under a dictatorship, I don't really think she'd be allowed to go in that unhinged rant about President Trump. But of course, liberals make their own rules and make their own definitions. In the same way they can't define a woman, how dare we expect them to actually know what a real dictatorship is, right? I think the only thing Rachel Maddow needs to find is probably a prescription for Xanax, because she needs to calm down. And to be quite frank, this is exactly why no one can take the left seriously anymore. They live in this constant state of just absolute anxiety that is absolutely not unfounded in any sense or sort of reality, and it's sad.
Well, the Howard Stern show on Sirius XM is set to be cancelled. Now, he was reportedly on a contract of $100 million over 5 years. He's previously said that he hated anyone who voted for Donald Trump and demanded that they stop listening to his radio show, and turns out they did. And he also had this charming message to anyone who was hesitant about the COVID jab.
We're going to stop putting up with the idiots in this country and just say, it's mandatory to get vaccinated. F them, f their freedom. I want my freedom to live.
And here he is interviewing a barely functioning Joe Biden, absolutely gushing over him.
I know you'd be a good father to the country, and I want to thank you for providing a calming influence, an organized administration post-COVID, getting that vaccine out, getting NATO, getting us to feel comfortable, standing up to Putin. I don't know what people are looking for in a president, or maybe it's that people don't feel like they're getting enough or something. I don't know what it is, but I'll give you your greatest hits.
What stands out to me looking at that clip is just how distracted Joe Biden looks there. Remember, we used to see so many images. He just looks so confused, not really sure if he knows what is going on. But looking at the comments of that clip that's been written up online, people say that he's worse than what's on MSNBC. What's your reaction?
You know, I think you're exactly right. And I think not only the people spoke, but so did the free markets, right? This guy was paid $100 million to spew unfounded lies and to gaslight America about the health and mental acuity of President Biden. And I think people were sick and tired of it, and they were frankly fed up. And he's gone the way of Colbert. He's gone the way of Jim Acosta. And I got to tell you, Gabriella, this is exactly what I voted for these people in the media who have lied to the American people for almost a decade now about the state of affairs in this country, to finally be given an unceremonious exit. And I gotta say, I think a lot of people are happier today than they were when Howard Stern was on the radio spewing his nonsense, lies, and vitriol.
Well, speaking of people with severe TDS, Jasmine Crockett says that Donald Trump has a problem with people of color. Listen to this.
This is a person that has a problem with people of color, period. I don't care how many black MAGA out there with their hats. I want to be clear. When we look at who it is that he's kicking out of this country as people of color, when we look at who he always disrespects and says that they are low IQ, even though when you look at his cabinet, this has to be the most incompetent cabinet we have ever had in the history of this country.
And I doubt you got a lot of pushback from CNN there.
You know, not at all, but that's, of course, part of the course for that failing network. But here's what I'll tell you about how President Trump cares and treats black people. I'm someone who's been to the White House on many occasions. I've been to Mar-a-Lago, his personal home, on many occasions. If the man didn't like black people, I don't know if that'd be the case. But let's not talk about just that. Let's talk about what this president has done for the black community. This is a president who delivered criminal justice reform. The first black president didn't even do that. This is a president who's invested billions of dollars into historically black colleges and universities here in the United States. This is a president who continues to deliver for black and brown communities every single day, not because of the color of their skin, because he believes that a rising tide lifts all boats. And so when Jasmine Crockett goes on national television and spews her hate and vitriol, all she's doing is exposing her lack of knowledge about these critical policy wins. And if she would be more concerned about actually serving the people of her district and making a fool of herself on national television, I think the people of Texas would be a lot more excited to have her as their congressman.
Yeah, well said. Now, Trump has announced that Apple is investing $600 billion in the United States, which is the largest investment that Apple has ever made in the US. The tech giant had already planned to invest $768 billion, so this takes its total investment to close to $100 billion. Now, this is going to create around 20,000 new jobs in America. And CJ, this is really what we're seeing as a result of Trump's controversial tariffs. Just in a short period of time, we are seeing major plans for increased manufacturing in America.
Well, 4 words for you. Promises made, promises kept. This is a president who ran on the idea of returning American industry right back here at home. And this is a thing that's actually going to create incredible jobs for blue-collar Americans in the great state of Kentucky. With that, a part of this pledge, Tim Cook also said they were going to make all the iPhone screens and things of that nature right here in America. And this is exactly what President Trump said would happen. And look at Lord behold, he's delivering on.
He is. It's amazing to see. Now, in the wake of a former Doge worker being beaten by gang members on the streets of Washington, D.C., Donald Trump has indicated that he's considering taking control of the district to stamp out crime. He said that he's considering using the National Guard. Take a listen.
Look at that. In fact, the lawyers are already studying it. We have to run D.C. This has to be the best run place in the country, not the worst run place in the country. And it has so much potential, and we're going to take care of it. You're going to be safe. You're going to be safe walking down the streets. You're not going to get mugged.
CJ, what are your thoughts on this?
You know, I spent a lot of time in Washington, D.C., so I got to say thank you to President Trump for prioritizing making sure that our nation's capital is not another third world country. But, of course, under Democrat leadership like Mayor Muriel Bowser, we've seen it decline into that. And so I think, of course, America's national capital should, of course, be a shining city on a hill, just like our country ought to be. And every thug, every so-called youth that wants to torment folks on our streets, they should be held accountable, put in prison, the key thrown away, because that's the only way we are going to solve this problem.
Look, as we know, Donald Trump gets a pretty hard time from the media. Some of the criticism, I'm sure, is absolutely fair, but I don't think he gets enough credit for the humour that he brings to the job. Here is the 79-year-old president on the roof of the White House taking questions from reporters.
Are you considering more renovations, sir?
Are you going to build up?
Aye, sir.
There is no one else like him.
We don't deserve him, to be quite frank with you, right? You know, we went from a president who struggled to walk up the stairs to Air Force One to a president who's now taking questions from the roof of the White House just for fun. It's incredible to see, and it's a reminder of the fact that it is night and day in America right now. And to be quite frank, it's morning in America right now. I think for a long time we didn't have this experience, and I think the American people welcome a president with the energy and the passion and zeal to deliver for the American people and to implement his America First agenda.
For sure.
Like
now,
and subscribe.
construction for a new ballroom inside the White House is set to begin in September.
Like and
It's going to
subscribe.
seat more than 600 people, and it means that they won't need to put up a tent when they
more
host
right-wing
state dinners
content.
and other
More right-wing
functions. But
content.
Chuck Schumer, well, he's against it.
The White House announced construction of a $200 million White House ballroom that will begin in September. A $200 million ballroom. Where'd this money come from? Did Congress appropriate it? I don't think so. It's almost like Doge was never about waste at all.
President Trump and other donors have generously committed to donating the funds necessary to build this approximately $200 million structure.
That's right. The $200 million ballroom will be covered by Donald Trump and other donors. And Trump also doesn't get enough credit for donating his entire presidential salary.
No, he don't. Yep.
No, not at all.
Only
And,
president
you know,
ever. Only president ever
there's
not
money
to take
simply
the money
as long
he
as
gets paid
President
for being
Trump's. You know,
president.
this is a
He don't
president
take
who
it.
is, you know, if he wants to improve
Well, the
the White
person you know
House,
does
he has
that.
said
Don't
long
take the
and,
money.
You know, and has long held this fact that he will actually foot the bill
Come on,
himself. He's donated his presidential
blessed
salary, as you
to
know, to the
have
White
a
House Historical
president like
Association.
Trump.
This is a man who
Blessed.
absolutely just does as he says, and I understand that's rare in Washington, but it's not rare in Donald Trump's White House.
Finally, I want to ask you about aliens, a bit left field, but Director of National Intelligence Tulsi Gabbard sat down with Miranda Devine on her podcast on Force One.
That was my X-Files
Tulsi was asked
impersonation.
about
It sucks, don't it?
You know,
Yeah.
are they
Oh
really
well.
out there? This is what she had to say.
Oh well.
So, I mean, is there anything, we've had some declassification of some very strange videos that look like they are, you know, unidentified flying objects. Is there anything in the files that you think you could find or you have found?
Nothing that I'm prepared to talk about today.
So watch this space. Say what? Watch this space.
They never want to talk about it.
We are
It's nothing new.
I'm just going to say this. Yeah, we're continuing to look for the truth.
Yeah.
And share that truth with the American people.
Continuing to hide.
CJ, what did you make of this?
As long as possible.
Well, I would, you know, as someone who's watched The View once or twice, I would say that was all the proof of extraterrestrial life that I needed. But, you know, it's interesting to see Director Gabbard speak on this issue, and I trust his administration to, of
how
course,
much
get to
proof
the
do we
bottom of this. I
need?
think there are a
There's
lot of
something
valid
else out there.
questions surrounding this
I mean,
issue.
we'd be
And, I
so
believe that this
self-centered,
administration will continue
man, to
act
think
in
that we're the
same
only
sort of
thing
radical transparency
created.
that have gotten them to
All
where they
of
are
this
6 months
massive universe. We can't even reach certain places. Why do you think that is? Because we weren't meant to.
Thanks so much for joining us on
Because we're
Power
God's
Hour.
experiments,
Always great to talk to
okay?
you.
God did this, and He didn't want us to meet each other, okay? Because we're two totally
Joining us now is
different
research fellow
experiments.
at the
He
Institute
could
of
have been
Public Affairs,
on another planet for
Thank you for
thousands,
joining
I
us.
mean,
Let's
millions,
start with
billions of
the
years,
UK and the
okay?
process
We could be a
that took
younger
place
civilization
last weekend
that He's
where
trying to
we saw
correct
mothers
flaws
dressed in
that He
pink
done in other
demonstrating outside
civilizations,
migrant
okay?
hotels
People
in
think
London.
aliens makes
Hundreds of
religion
people
fall
were there.
apart.
They
It
were heard
doesn't,
chanting,
okay? It doesn't
"Save
at
our
all.
kids"
All it
outside
does
the
is mean that
Britannia
God's plan is so much bigger than we could ever conceive. What He said it would be. He said there's some things about God we shouldn't even question because we couldn't fathom the answer. And that's facts. We could not fathom the answer to what his goals really were, you know.
So this was what it looked like before the protest was then hijacked by masked thugs who then set off flares and clashed with police. But this hotel is not cheap. A standard room reportedly costs as much as £425 a night. So, Mia, it seems that there's really this frustration that the government is splashing taxpayer dollars on luxury hotels for illegal immigrants. What are your thoughts?
Yeah, that's exactly right. I think people really are quite frustrated with how the UK government is treating this issue at the moment. I mean, we saw this protest, it started out peacefully, and then unfortunately it was hijacked by some very, very angry groups of people, and then there was some public backlash against that. But unfortunately, this anger that we're seeing, it's a symptom of people who are so frustrated that the political class is just not listening to them, and it's not listening to their concerns. And what the worry here is that in Australia, we are very, very close to following this path of the UK. We have this out-of-control migration intake. We're not building enough houses. And as a result of that, the standard of living is falling for both Australians and people who want to come to this country. Now, Australia is a very welcoming and a very tolerant nation, but we have to do these things carefully. It has to be planned for. It needs to have the consent of the community. Otherwise, Australia is at risk of following down the path of the UK.
Look, while we're talking about the UK, there are concerns that the UK's Online Safety Act is at risk of seriously infringing free speech. Elon Musk's social media platform X says that lawmakers made a conscientious decision to increase censorship. The statement says many are now concerned that the plan intended to keep children safe is at risk of seriously infringing on the public's right to free expression. Now, the government has firmly rejected calls to reverse the legislation. It insists that the act is to protect children from harmful content online. But public opposition to this has really grown significantly. An online petition demanding the act's repeal has attracted more than 400,000 signatures. Mia, do you have concerns that this Safety Act, this Online Safety Act, it might be well-intentioned, but it will infringe on free speech?
I absolutely have concerns about this, and I have to agree with Elon Musk that this is a heavy-handed approach, and it's an approach to censorship. I mean, there's no doubt that the political class has motivations to censor what they see online, because what's happening is the mainstream population is waking up to the fact that our traditional mainstream media outlets are full of bias, they're full of ideology, so they're turning to online platforms like social media in some attempt to engage in a different kind of discourse. And what the political class is seeing is they're thinking, I've got to censor this and control the debate, as they're doing with mainstream media outlets. Now, this happens time and time again. They say it's done in the name of safety. And I think everyone can agree that we want to keep our children safe, but this isn't the way to do it. It's a path to censorship. And we see it with time and time again with things like we call it climate safe or COVID safe. And each time we use this word safe, it's code for government censorship.
I completely agree with you. Looking at the global implications of this, Politico reports that the UK's Office of Communications, which is enforcing this Online Safety Act, has already sent letters to at least 3 websites that are operating outside of the UK, demanding that they conduct harmful speech audits. The letters note that failure to comply could result in imprisonment for a term of up to 2 years or a fine or both. I mean, 2 years imprisonment, that is a serious punishment. But I have to play you what UK Prime Minister Keir Starmer said about free speech. He was very awkward.
What's the importance of free speech today?
Well, free speech is very important. I don't know if you're referring to any place in particular. Perhaps they are, but
we've had free speech for a very, very long time here, so we're very proud about that.
So uncomfortable. He was so awkward there, trying to pretend that that's something he believes in. But as you point out, we should also look to what's happening here in Australia, because from December 2025, a world-first social media ban will be locking out under 16s out of social media platforms. So Instagram, Facebook, TikTok, Reddit, X, Snapchat, and YouTube. If you're under 16, you won't be able to use it. The Albanese government claims that it's, of course, again, shielding kids from harmful content online. But again, there are these concerns around surveillance, and this could be a slippery slope to censorship.
Well, that's exactly right, and there is so much bracket creep on this stuff. I mean, previously the e-safety commissioner was called the child e-safety commissioner, and now she's the e-safety commissioner in general. Like, there's just no limitations to the kind of powers that these groups impose on themselves. And as I said, it's bracket creep. It goes further and further down the line. Not to mention, there's actually no way of even enforcing these new laws. I mean, it's a Trojan horse for digital ID. And the Australian government keeps falling down this path. We saw it. They're censorious in nature. We saw it with the misinformation bill last year that was thankfully rejected in the end, but they can't help themselves.
I want to ask you about net zero. President Donald Trump has scrapped what would have been one of America's largest onshore wind farms. The 1,000 megawatt Lava Bridge wind project in Idaho would have spanned more than 57,000 acres with more than 230 wind turbines. Now, we know that Donald Trump is against wind farms. He absolutely blasted Europe for it last week. Before I get to net zero and what's happening here in Australia, what are your thoughts on Trump's decision?
I think it's a fantastic decision by Trump. I mean, Trump is waking up to the delusion that is net zero, and he's leading the way on this. We're seeing it across even here in Australia. There are so many companies now who are withdrawing their agreements to set up particularly offshore wind farms because they're just not viable. I mean, if you have a look, just this week, there was the Orana Renewable Energy Zone in New South Wales. Now, that was originally projected to cost about $650 million. That blew out to 8 times the cost of $5.5 billion. And those added costs were expected to flow on to consumers. They admitted that. These renewables, they just do not stack up. They don't stack up when it comes to the economics of it or even upholding our energy grid. And unfortunately, it is mainstream Australians and mainstream people all across the world who will get hit the hardest when they're the ones who are forced to pay for them.
And you've spent a fair bit of time with farmers, with people that are being impacted by this push for renewables.
Yeah, that's right. That's been a really big part of our research here at the IPA because there's an economic cost to these projects, but beyond that, there's also a social cost. And it's a cost that so many people just aren't aware of because for so long they've been told that the net zero agenda or committing to zero emissions is the right thing to do. And it doesn't matter the cost because it's the moral high ground. And if you reject net zero, you're some kind of climate denier and you're not doing the right thing. But when you actually head out to the communities who are the ones who are going to have to house these infrastructure, because these wind farms are not built in the inner cities. They're built out in our regional communities, and to connect these wind farms to the grid, you need hundreds of kilometres of transmission lines that cut through farming property. And these farmers, they don't consent to it, and the reaction of the government, instead of negotiating with them or coming up with a better agreement, has been this heavy-handed approach of compulsorily acquiring any land they need to proceed with the rollout.
Research Fellow at the Institute of Public Affairs, Mish Licht, thank you so much for your time.
Thank you for having me.
The UK Charity Commission has criticised Prince Harry for publicly airing his dispute with the chair of his charity, Centre Ballet, but cleared the Duke of Sussex of racism allegations. Riley Sullivan is a lifestyle reporter here at skynews.com.au, and he's always across the latest celebrity headlines. Riley, great to see you.
Great to be back.
Okay, talk to us about this. Prince Harry, he's been cleared of serious racism allegations. What were those allegations against him, and what did the Charity Commission have to say?
Yes, so this is all about the demise, really, of his charity, Centre Ballet. It was a HIV charity that he set up with the Prince of Lesotho back in 2006. It was all about educating and providing support for young people suffering HIV. Very important charity, very much part of his legacy and also his mother, Princess Diana's legacy. She was, of course, such a champion for raising awareness of that issue. So this has been really a demise that has been sad for Harry personally, and it really played out in the media. The chair of the charity, Dr. Sophie Chandorka, very sort of acclaimed lawyer from Zimbabwe, high profile, she was the chair of the charity. she came out a few months ago and made these shocking claims about
Okay,
alleged misogyny.
I don't really like watching
racism
them because I don't think
in
we
terms
should
of the
care about a
management of Centre
monarchy.
Ballet and including
They're a
Prince Harry.
monarchy
So
at the end of the day, you
those
know.
allegations were taken
We're
very
not.
seriously. The
We're the
UK Charity
Democrat
Commission
Republic. You know,
became
we're the
involved,
Democrat
and they
Republic.
have
We're
released
not
their findings.
a
The
monarchy.
findings said that
So I'm not
they
interested in
didn't
watching
find
about
any evidence of
monarchies.
racism or misogyny
Y'all
towards
didn't think so?
the
No one's
share,
there.
by Harry or anyone involved in the charity.
I'm still
but
having fun
they
though.
did caution
That's
and
all that
emphasize,
matters.
they said the fact that it was aired publicly
Which I want to watch.
was inappropriate, very inappropriate.
Not this. You want to see pressure? Hey, buddy. Hey, buddy. Hey, buddy. Ooh, sorry. Let me zoom out. There you go. Yeah, hey, look. Yeah. It's my best friend here. Got me through some of the worst times. Ain't that right, my bestie? Ain't that right, my bestie? Ain't that right, my bestie? Mm-hmm. My bestie. You gotta make pig noises. That's all he knows how to make. He's got babies on the way. He's got half Yorkies on the way. Frenchie, full-blooded Frenchie with a full-blooded Yorkie. So we got some Forkies. Forkies on the way. Yep. You heard it right, folks. Forkies. Look them up. They're beautiful dogs. Oh. But, oh, you know, dogs live, like, one day for us is like 5 for them. So, like, you know, you should really, really try your best to make them enjoy their life, you know. Give them a lot of attention and love. And if you can't, give them somebody who can. Love them from a distance, you know. If I couldn't take care of them, I wouldn't have them. It's been a struggle sometimes. Heck, I was homeless when I first started out trying to, you know, do something with dogs. That's my career goal, is to do something with them in this shelter. I was hoping to do one that was a non-profit, just, you know, for everybody who can't afford things. And, you know, just get by. As long as I can get by, pay the bills, take care of my mother and her medical, and then I'll be happy and be able to help animals. And, you know, that'd be the best job in the world. So that's what I'm still trying for. I'm 35. I know it's getting late. It's getting down nitty gritty. I know it is, ain't it, buddy? I know it is, buddy. I know it is. But it's cool. I'll figure it out. What's up, buddy? I don't want you to go. Don't go. No, don't go. I do go right there. That's my acting skills, you know what I mean? Yeah, they wanted me to play Titanic. I turned it down. I was like, no, man, it's not profile high enough, you know, something like that. That's not me. Give it to that one dude. That decapped the whole dude. I don't know, you know. One of them. I'm lying. I definitely didn't write that. Ain't that right, buddy? Ain't that right, buddy? But I'm a pretty good artist, and I play guitar. It's a little something about Kurt right there. Dog lover, mainly Frenchies, and well, not really. Mainly, I like Yorkies. Don't get me wrong. I love Yorkies. I love all small dogs, but pugs and Frenchies. Frenchies number 1, pugs number 2. I used to love Rottweilers, Huskies. That's my favorite ones, you know. And everybody's like, oh, I love pits, I love pits. I mean, I love pits too, but I've had like 20 of them. So, I mean, everybody's had a pit. I mean, just, I'm not into that anymore. I don't need a dog to, you know, make sure I don't get killed because I'm scared to walk down the street. I feel like that's why a lot of people got big dogs like that. I think because they love them, you know. Everyone I got is just to show pure love to, you know. And I'll protect them. That's what it's about. That's why I'm scared to own little dogs like this, because they cost so much and it makes people want to, you know, feed and steal. But I mean, what I recommend is carrying something heavy. I always carry this, you know. It's easy, poppable. It's easy to take off. It snaps. It looks like it's got 2 buttons, but no, that's the one snap. Because when it's on you like that, you just take that and you press it right here. Pops right off. You know what I'm saying? You just pop off. And then look. Nice clean blade. Good steel, you know, Smith & Wesson steel. With the real sheet, it's the sheet that comes with. If you want to, if you can, you always want to get the real sheet. I mean, it's always possible to get a different sheet, but you want a good sheet. Latch on to me. I'm a convict. If you're not a convict, I recommend getting a carry permit so you can carry your weapon and protect your dog. And I ain't saying shoot everybody that looks like they're gonna steal your dog. I'm saying if somebody makes an attempt to pull your gun out, tell them leave and get back, or you're calling the cops, or you're gonna shoot them. And then if they proceed, then shoot them. Yeah, I mean I understand because it's your dog, you gotta protect it. But don't. That should be your last option is to kill somebody. You shouldn't want to do that. You know what I mean? It should be just purely to scare them. Hey, my phone's about to die soon. Say my pressure. We'll be back in about an hour, and I'll let you meet his girlfriend, Pearl, as well as our Belladonna really is her own name, and then Pearl's her name's Pearl Sky because she got one blue eye. But we're gonna let you meet the Yorkie Bella when we get back because he got her pregnant. Oh God! But pretty soon Pearl will be pregnant. We'll have full-blooded Frenchies. Not to mention she carries the fluffy genes, so they can be fluffy. She also carries the Merle genes, so they'll definitely be Merle because he's not Merle. You can't breed two Merles. We'll get into depths with it later. It's about politics and puppies, man. That's what it's all about. All right, well, y'all, if y'all wouldn't be here, you know, I believe eventually my followers will grow and they'll hear our message, and you know, I'm just going the path God tells me. You know, I'm gonna work on weekdays, do this on weekends, and try to fit videos in between times. Maybe I can do some on lunch breaks. All right, well, y'all, see y'all in an hour, man. Tune back in, man. To Kurt White, Pressure, and Pearl TV right here. All right. Y'all be safe. Love out there. I still don't know how to stop it, but I figured it out.